So appears that we have another school. So another school shooting. Not only that, I discovered that there was another student in Maryland that they recently arrested because he had a 129-page outline what he planned to do for another school shooting. So this is prevalent. It needs to be under control. So there is a press release of what recently happened earlier on today, just around 12 noon. So I'm going to roll the clip and you guys can take a look, see the crisis, see what's happening. Hey, we're in a state of crisis right now.
Now to Harford County, Maryland, where police are now holding a press conference following an incident at a high school earlier today. Let's take a listen in.
I'm going to wait for the siren. All right, everybody ready? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Sadly, we stand here today to discuss another school shooting. I'm very thankful. This came out at 12:36 today. Our Department of Emergency Services Dispatch Center took calls for what was possibly an active shooter incident. Thankfully, that was not the case, but we did have a shooting that took place in the school. One suspect, one victim. At 12:36 again was the initial call. There was the SRO assigned to the school who was in the school who did not hear the shot as the principal. I apologize. The principal of the school also was in the school at the time, did not hear the shot, but heard the commotion that resulted from it. Both the principal and our SRO responded to the scene. Nurses, the shooting took place in a first floor men's bathroom. After the initial shooting, the suspect left the bathroom, left the school. Other individuals in the school brought the victim out into the hallway, where he was immediately attended to by nurses as part of the public school system. Within the first 2 minutes, we had our first response deputy on the scene. Within 15 minutes, more than 100 police officers were here from all of our local partner agencies, Bel Air, Aberdeen, Havre de Grace, the Maryland State Police, as well as Transportation Authority, and I know I'm going to miss somebody. Baltimore County Police sent units up into the county. ATF is here. I've received calls from other jurisdictions offering their support. The medics from Department of Emergency Services were here in a matter of minutes as well. Immediately attended to the patient who was airlifted to a trauma center. Again, he is the victim in this shooting is a 15-year-old male who is in serious condition. Last we heard, the suspect in the case, thanks to our community members, the suspect in our case was apprehended within minutes. He's a 16-year-old student at the school. This was his first day, although we're the 4 days into the school year. This was his first day in the school, and this altercation apparently took place in the bathroom that resulted in a single shot, what we believe to be a single shot being fired, which struck the victim. He went a short distance away to some houses. They also called the police, called dispatch. Information was given to responding deputies who were able to encounter him very quickly and make an arrest. With our criminal-friendly legislature here in Maryland, this is a 16-year-old suspect that we are now not allowed to talk to. So as far as trying to give some information, our detectives to get information about the questions I have, that all of our partners behind me have, as to why we're not allowed to ask the suspect in this case. We do have We've talked to the state's attorney. We do have sufficient information that he will be charged in association with this shooting without the need to be interviewed. Overwhelming evidence, if you will. But again, that investigation is ongoing. I'm very thankful again for the quick response of our deputies, of all of our officers and the troopers in the county, all of our allied partners, all the officer assistants, the Department of Emergency Services, the great work at Dispatch Center. I know Rick Ayers is with us, the Director of DES, County Executive is with us. I can't introduce everybody, but again, a tragic day, 4 days into the school year. We're all familiar with the horrible shooting that took 4 lives in Georgia just a couple of days ago, and here we stand in Harford County with a school shooting. That's about as much investigative information as I'm going to release at this point. It's early on. We have so many of our partners working with us. I'm joined by Dr. Bolson. I can't undersell his staff and what they did. Again, the principal and the nurse attending to this victim right away, hopefully giving him a good chance to survive this event, I pray. Dr. Bolson, did you want to say anything?
Thank you, Sheriff. So I would like to start by thanking all of these first responders. I pulled up to the school to see just a sea of lights and people doing their jobs on behalf of our students in this community. So thank you so much for that. Also to know that, our hearts are breaking for the victim and this victim's family. The circumstances are absolutely terrible, and this should not be happening in schools. I also want to thank our parents for their patience. When an incident happens, our job first is to secure the students and make sure that when we do release them back to their families, that we're doing it as carefully and we're keeping as much track of everybody as we possibly can. So for anyone who still isn't aware, the reunification site is at Good Shepherd Presbyterian Church just up the road here. That process is working. We've had families going through and being reunified with their children at this time. Again, thank you to this entire community, all of the first responders. Thank you so much. I want to say on behalf of my staff, thank you to them. They did the job. Unfortunately, we prepare for things like this, but it's never the same as when it actually happens. And so, we're just devastated to be a part of this awful group of schools that have experienced things like this. And we're going to do everything we can, working with this community to make sure this absolutely never happens again.
And with that, and yes, as Dr. Bolson said, the reunification effort between the parents is going on. I'm going to take some questions for anyone here, but we're going to be limited on what we are willing to offer.
I understand that, Sheriff. Thank you. Do you recover a weapon? What type of weapon? How do you get it in the school? And do you know why this happened?
At this point in time, the firearm has not been recovered. But other than that, yes, we have an idea of what kind of weapon, but I'm not going to go into any other investigative details at this time.
Do you know what the argument was about? Or
we have no idea. And again, I hope my frustration is clear that this legislature has handcuffed police. There are families of every other student in that school and the parents of the shooter who have a right to know why we all stand here today and why there's a person who has been shot in one of our schools, and we are not allowed to ask the person who committed that act because of this crazy legislature we have in this state.
Final for me, can you tell us how he got the gun in school? Was it in a backpack, a pocket?
We do not know at this point in time, and hopefully the easiest way to find that out would be to ask the suspect, but we don't get to go that way. So hopefully the investigation, as we again continue to work the investigative side of this, we have a ton of investigators on scene. I would probably undersell if I tried to give you a number, but our investigators will work this case diligently with our partners and hopefully come up with those answers.
All right. Once again, a little bit of clarity now coming from authorities out of Harford County, Maryland, where we now know 2 teenagers got into a scuffle inside of a high school bathroom. One teenager then brandishing a weapon. That we were told that teenager happened to be attending the first day of school, although school has now been in session for some 4 days, opening fire. The teen that was struck and wounded then received aid from nurses inside that school, rushed to the hospital, where at last check said to be in serious condition.
There was the SRO assigned to the school who was in the school who did not hear the shot, as the principal, I apologize, the principal of the school also was in the school at the time, did not hear the shot. but heard the commotion that resulted from it. Both the principal and our SRO responded to the scene. Nurses, the shooting took place in a first floor men's bathroom. After the initial shooting, the suspect left the bathroom, left the school. Other individuals in the school brought the victim out into the hallway, where he was immediately attended to. The victim in this shooting is a 15-year-old male who is in serious condition, last we heard. The suspect in our case was apprehended within minutes. He's a 16-year-old student at the school. This was his first day, although we're 4 days into the school year.
And we begin with that breaking news this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ben Brad.
This is ridiculous. This is truly ridiculous, right? Truly ridiculous. Wow. What is this coming to? Sad. I have a child in school and wonder what's going to happen. It is scary. It's really scary. But on that note, you have a child in school, be vigilant, ask questions, stay on top of your child or children, make sure you have some understanding of what's going on. Because with the amount of weapons that's out there on the street, some are registered, some are unregistered, it is just devastating. The kind of harm that could come from these weapons when they're left in the open or even given to a child, like what happened with Georgia student with Colt Gray and his father Colin Gray, who gave him an assault rifle for his 14th birthday, right? So now here we have another student, first day of school, shot someone in school. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this, I was reading an article of a student that they discovered had a 129-page description of what he was going to do for his foray into being school shooter. So with that being said, vigilant and be mindful of what's going on. Child says, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. You won't understand. Find out. Don't give up. It's important that we find out what, right? And as I like to say, important, question everything. Don't ever what's right. So that being said, have a good day, good weekend. See you on the next.